Hello everyone, welcome to Eternal Brews. My name is Pojo, and I'm excited to be talking about the new promo card today. We will have a full spoiler review for both this promo and Kozlo up tomorrow, but I wanted to focus on this deck for today's video because we had a lot of fun with it. It was a delightful time, and it does some really wild stuff. So there's a new promo out. It's called Friends in Low Places, and it gives the unit +4/+4 for the turn, while also providing a bunch of interesting influence threshold benefits, namely at 6 red, you get 4/1/1 Rustlings, and at 6 green, you get to play a unit with cost 4 or less from the top 4 cards of your deck, and give it Aegis while bottoming the rest, meaning that you get to play as many as 5 units when you play this 2-cost spell, which is pretty interesting if you can find an interesting way to manage that combo. Thanks to clever communication from chat, we found that combo right away, and we're going to be talking about it today. It is a Milos Unwavering Idealist deck. So let's go ahead and get into it. First things first, why don't we get into the combo? Milos Unwavering Idealist. When you play another unit, it gets strength and health equal to Milos' strength and health. This applies to temporary buffs, provided that you are playing the unit after the temporary buff has triggered. So, if you have a Milos Unwavering Idealist out in play, and you play a Friends in Low Places from your market or main board, we are currently using it in the market because, of course, we only have 1 copy, so we are trying to get as much access to it as possible. Play Friends in Low Places on Milos. Milos gets +4/+4, becomes a 5/5 unit. If you have the 6 red influence, you play 4/1/1 Rustlings. Those all get +5/+5 because Milos is a 5/5 unit. Then you also get to play a unit with cost 4 or less from the top 4 cards of your deck and give it Aegis. That unit gets +5/+5 from Milos as well, meaning that your board becomes ridiculous, and there's a lot of cool stuff that you can do with it. So I think it's a really fun time to play with this little doohickey, and it's very hard to respond to, since if you're playing Milos on turn 5, with 5 power up, that is to say, then you get to play Milos out. If your opponent tries to remove it, you respond with Friends in Low Places, or you do it at end of turn. In either case, it's pretty likely to get off and do the huge explosion that you want of ridiculous units. So the rest of the deck is filling out with good stuff with Friends in Low Places, and a generally Rakano aggro shell that's focused on influence gain. So, amongst other things, we have Trickshot Ruffian. We're using Bulletshaper to build red and green, as well as Ironthorn Lawman, a very aggressive 2-drop that plays really well with our fairly heavy influence base. We have Champion of Glory, which of course always loves to have good influence and is just a really solid 2-drop. We were playing with the Barbarian 3/1 at 1, but because of the amount of depleted sigils in this particular version of the deck, it wasn't terribly viable. I do recommend that if you shift the deck a little more aggro, you take in that card, because hybrid cards in general are really strong. Highland Sharpshooter for Renown, which is a really great secondary trigger for Friends in Low Places, as well as for just general aggression strategies and interesting Renown strategies with other cards that we're going to be running. We are using a lot of Finest Hour type buffs, so this is something that tends to be pretty helpful, especially when we're using stuff like Mantle of Justice in the deck later on. Kemmo Ijin's Apprentice creates 7/7 Blade Breakers, which pair really well with Milos Unwavering Idealist, and with Highland Sharpshooter, and with Champion of Glory, and really with anything. They kind of tend to make very big swingy units out of any units you have left over on board. Combined with Trickshot Ruffian and the general strength of Milos, you can often generate extremely large units for very cheap prices, which is important. Wasteland Broker provides us 1 form of market access. This is a great way to get multiple copies of Friends in Low Places, since we currently don't have a way to have multiple copies, but with any luck, it's a good strat in general because it's a 4-drop unit that is fairly well statted, hard to kill with Annihilate, as is most of this deck, and generally pretty threatening in terms of what it can do. Svetya Lightbringer tops out the curve at 6. We are able to not lock out our opponent's units, which can, in a board where there are no units, create a situation where you are able to basically just generate an extra turn to get your attack set up and blow out with something like Mantle of Justice or Trickshot Ruffian or anything along those lines. The card has Aegis as well, which is also very strong, and it plays very well with that Surge ability, since all of our power is going to be generating double influence. So really strong stuff there, but we're only running 2 of them at the moment, since the deck is fairly low on the curve and usually doesn't go higher than 5 most of the time. Okay. Attachments, we have Mantle of Justice. This is a straight-up great option if you are playing with all of this justice-generating influence. We also, in our spells section, use Finest Hour to buff up Milos and other options such as Highland Sharpshooter. And we have Blazing Salvo to pick out the friends in low places and to play other cards. We also use Rujin's Choice in the market. Since the objective here is to assemble the combo, you can replace this card with some attachment destruction once you are very confident that you're getting your combo reliably. When you have more copies of friends in low places, that should be a little bit more easy, but in this case it basically allows us to pick Milos out, put him on top of our deck, and then grab him so that we can always get the friends in low places, or at least reliably play it in lower end decks where we are just basically looking for that combo and we want to play the fun thing. Rujin's Choice is acceptable otherwise, but this is probably the weakest market card in our options. We also have Lay Siege for popping off permafrosts and making invulnerable damage happenings happen. We have Sear for doing just straight damage to other things. And we have Volatile Grenadin, a really great aggressive card that works as both a Wasteland Broker card or a Blazing Salvo card due to our deck's extreme influence gain. This can also be a main board option for you. It's really aggressive, it's scary, and does a lot of work. I have two begin Anews in here as well. This is sort of a fun of because we didn't want to have 4 Svetyas. This is just kind of a nice way to replace your hand after you've played out most of your other stuff, but by all means, not a necessary craft. Feel free to replace it with any 3-drop that you like if you are playing for a cheaper version of this deck. In fact, I would say that neither of the legendaries in this setup, Svetya or Begin Anew, are necessary for the deck, so don't worry about them in terms of crafting. You also don't even need Kemmo, although Kemmo is certainly a reasonable option. For the most part, you can play Rakano aggro as long as you are generating enough influence through cards like Bulletshaper and taking advantage of that influence through other cards. So the main core of the deck is actually pretty cheap. You don't need a lot of these legendaries. Okay, power base, pretty simple. We're using Fire Justice, Crest, Banner, Cylix, Insignia. This is sort of like my go-to like all surge deck where we just basically are trying to greed out. It means that there's more depleted power, so if you want to fix it for less depleted power, you can always run Vows and Sigils and some small amounts. This even has a single Seed of Glory, which will always be depleted just because it's so important for us to just run double influence. This is a particularly greedy power base, but it's really, really good here for getting the 6 power you need for friends in low places, and the results, as you will see, are spectacular. So let's show off some games. We have one against, yeah, we have a couple of good ones coming up. There may be some off-key singing. I hope you enjoy anyways. Thanks so much for watching. I don't have any, like, flying, which would really be kind of what makes it work, though. Like, pushing 20 life is not actually that big a deal. This is pretty nice, but only if I can play the Cylix. I don't know. I'm skeptical on this one. I think we want to redraw. It's not much better. Probably worse. Well, there's definitely 5 of each influence here. So that's something.
Time quickens.
Wasteland Broker. So we can get our Friembs running.
Another round, chamber.
Should have done the Justice symbol, actually. Although this does allow for Ironthorn draws to be good. I mean, I am legitimately not sure that I should be. I don't have that many Overwhelm units. I don't have any Overwhelm units, but let's see here. Kemmo, Ijin's Apprentice, Highland Sharpshooter. What's the better choice here? I think let's go Kemmo.
My masterpiece is complete.
Both are pretty good setups. Ruffian gives you +1/+1 and Life Seal for 1 for each of your green, which is pretty strong. Alright. That kind of sucks because I really want to run in here, but I'd rather play like Champion of Glory Highland Sharpshooter here.
Rakano's weapons unmatched.
All head is a big problem for us.
Rodolph's earth will not yield to you.
Okay.
Follow my lead.
Could also put it on the quick draw unit and it would have lived, but yeah. This seems pretty okay. Cool. We need to kill all head.
Charge! Charge! Finish them!
Although notably that does trigger, yeah. Okay. Well, I don't have a lot of turns left to live.
How? Why?
So that's a bit of an issue. Huh.
Grab your weapons.
This is my only way to live. That's almost certainly going to get eaten by a Twilight Hunt. What options do I have here? We need that. All right. Might be able to pull this out. I think we pull this out, actually.
Drive them back.
Well, I saw the surprise and the fear in her eyes. Cause I got friends in low places. Oh, I'm so out of tune, too. Chapin. We gotta do this, right? Okay, can we do it? Can we do it? Crest, Rakano Insignia, Champion of Glory, or Highland Sharpshooter. What's best? I guess we have to go with this. Let's do it. Like, this is clearly the hand. Cylix is great. It's actually perfect. I think we go Champion of Glory first, since it's the best effective option.
Rakano's weapons unmatched.
Yeah, no, that was a good call, Yobojo. Alright, Cylix? Highland Sharpshooter, Cylix. We can Salvo now. That's not very nice.
Finish them!
Trove first? Or Trove second? I'm literally just looking for Milos right now. So if I need to find Milos, and that's the only thing I need to find, I think we still Trove first. Found Milos. Now we need one more red-green. Once we have that, we can do whatever. What should our Wasteland broker broke for? We don't need Rujin's Choice. Lay Siege is okay, but it's not great against this deck. Volatile Grenadin's pretty good.
Choose a path.
I'd take that. Uruval. Still gotta be careful here.
I'll brave the elements.
Ah, it's Helio. Such an annoying deck. Alright. Ironthorn's pretty good. We know what we want, which is friends in low places. I gotta keep Bulletshaper. Is Trickshot Ruffian actually gonna be the card to go? Yeah. Let's do 4 damage here. Ironthorn Lawman. I could change Bubble Shield, but I think I want to keep it. Yeah, because like nothing works here if we don't actually play. The power we need.
Another round. Change.
Alright, we're powered up. From elements, really? We might not be able to clear this. Oh, Defiance, okay. Sure.
You will pay for your crimes.
Another Hailstorm. I'm worried about the Harsh roll, right? Like, that's the big one. If they have another Harsh roll.
Something catch your eye.
No, don't you go after my hand.
Grab your weapons!
That's no good. Alright. Now here's the thing. Chapin might know about this combo, and if he does, he's going to Harsh roll instead of doing something else. Okay. Well, I saw the surprise and the fear in his eyes as I took his glass of champagne. I toasted you with a said honey me. But you'll never hear me complain. Because... Oh, that's actually kind of sad. Alright. We still get this fancy Highland Sharpshooter. Gonna be a harsh roll. Oh, it was a hailstorm, actually. Right. That's fine, I guess. That doesn't do it. Yeah, the deck still had plenty of removal left. If we could, like, have more friends in low places, then we could be beating it. But because there's only one copy, I blame the designers! There we go! Wasn't quite as much of a blowout as we would have liked, because they were very prepped for it, but that was still pretty disgusting. That's it for today. If you want to help out with the stream or the YouTube channel, you can sub to me on Twitch Prime with Amazon Prime, and you can also find me on patreon.com. I am also, of course, always here on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter as LocoPojo. So thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time. Cheers.